Wars happen. The people against us is taking over something, destroyed our something, and is controlling our something. Who will save us? Idols. See also AKB 0048. Today we talk about Idol Boatai Hummingbird, aka Idol Defense Force Hummingbird. It was a 4-episode OVA that came out between 1993 and 1995. The anime was based on a light novel by Hitoshi Yoshioka. Older anime fans may know him for creating Irresponsible Captain Tyler, which I heard was great, or know him for Suikoden Demon Century, which older fans may remember as sucking. I'm basing that on the fact that it is buried garbage. 2 volumes of the light novel was published, Volume 1 in 1993 and Volume 2 in 1994. It was published by Fujimi Shobo and imprint Fujimi Fantasia Bunko. The OVA covers the plot of the light novels, so don't worry about missing anything if you become a fan. On the first watch, I thought 3 things about this. That is a reflection of the marketing and creation of idol groups or an idol factory approach. B, a spoof and reflection of the reputation of the Japanese military. Or C, an example of girls singing and flying and battles. This should probably be a subgenre of idol anime. See also AKB 0048. The premise is the Japanese government puts civilian organizations in charge of the country's air force. This results in companies using them. What for? Idols. The reason is a secret. The anime straight out says that. It's never explained. Everyone thought, why should civilian organizations do something as dangerous as that? Show business is why. Although, this Anon had the best description. The story focuses on hummingbirds, a group of sisters and idols named Satsuki, Uzuki, Yayoi, Kana, and Mina Tereishi. Their mom is their manager. Their family been in the pilot business for a while. Their father was a pilot, the mom is kind of like their commander as well as their manager, their grandfather built and owned planes, and they're all pilots/idols. The family business. It has a slow start. The first episode was like pulling teeth while watching it. It's 49 minutes and it could honestly be cut down to 30, like the other 3. Needless fan service and scenes could and should have been cut. It does pick up interest after the first performance in flight. Glad to know that the jets aren't for show, but they're a group of well-trained pilots. I know the first OVA is just to get to know each girl and their quirks, but why is it so boring and cliche while doing it? You have the older sister, mature one's second mom, Kana, the tomboy, sporty spice, sometimes an ass girl, Yayoi, the kid, Mina, the gentle nice girl with a weird hobby, Uzuki, and Satsuki, the insecure but talented human one. And a special cameo by Snap. Yeah, a parody of SMAP, a popular Johnny's and Associates boy band. I guess that would make Snap the first male idol group in anime. Huh. To go in a bit more detail, the first OVA is all about introducing the characters, setting up the universe, showing that they can fly, basically proving themselves as idols. Also just establishing their relationships, their past, and how they got there. And showing how idols can work in this sort of situation, which are idols that can also, well, fly giant mechanical objects. That's why I keep comparing it to AKB 0048. The second OVA, we have Rivals, which is an important part of the idol story. While it's a more shallower conflict, it helps gives the idol something to work towards. Sometimes the rival can act as also the friend, the ideal, the reason to keep you going. Also, there's the type of rival that's more of the Eric Raymond character that kidnaps your sisters and puts them in funny costumes. Because the pacing is much better and we get good character moments. The third OVA continues the good aspects of the second and adds higher stakes and conflict. The third and fourth OVA is where this really shines, where it shows Satsuki being friends with the two rivals, as happens in idol anime sometimes, and then having to choose her idol career, along with her sisters, to do what's right, pretty much, and abide by her father's legacy. Pretty much being the decent person to help save your friends. The fourth has a great climax and some hilarity at the end. The first two OVA are necessary for the last two to really exist. Part 3 and 4 are definitely the best part of this OVA. 1 and 2, kind of the worst, which is sad because you would think that the thing to get you into it would be the better half. The main character of the girls is Tereshi Satsuki. Satsuki loves her family and misses her dad and wants to live up to his legacy. You see where she gets her morals and goals from. In comparison, the other sisters are just okay. They're more tropes and quirks than anything deeper, but the anime focuses more on Satsuki's and her interactions with her family. It was also refreshing to finally see her have a relationship outside of her family in OVA 3 and 4. A bad side visually is that the character designs change between OVAs. Not too drastically on some, but night and day on a few. I want some consistency in the same series. Each OVA ends with a performance or music video. In the last performance, I realized that it was heavily used in the AMV Odorico Mambaleo. An old favorite in AMVs that is still one of my faves, and a top favorite in 2001. It features a few idol anime in it and won a ton of awards. It's one of the first AMVs I've ever seen, so look that up. The group Hummingbird is an idol group in fiction, but it's a group of seiyuu that also sing live shows. They're made up of Tamagawa Sakiko, Amano Yuri, Mitsuishi Kotono, Kusachi Fumi, and Shina Heikiru. Most are still doing roles, even big ones to this day. For example, Kotono Mitsuishi, who played Satsuki, played Nico's mom. Wow, Nico's mom's a big role. They're also famous for some other thing called Pretty Something Blah Blah Moon. It's a pretty obscure anime. Because of the media mixed nature, they did albums and live shows. Their final performance took place on August 16th, 1995. There's also plenty of albums and drama CDs. The first two OVAs were released in the UK on VHS, but not the last two, and it was never released stateside. It's out of print, but I did find it on YouTube with subtitles. I doubt this will ever get licensed or licensed rescued. Shame, because while the first episode is weak and flawed, the other three are really good. I think the songs are okay. None of them stood out to something I would listen to and add to my phone afterwards, but I do love the music videos. If this was made today, I say it'd be for the people who like things like Girls und Panzer, or the thing I kept comparing it to, AKB 0048, or the people who like the cute girls doing stuff type of anime. Satsuki reminds me of Nagisa, I'm gonna straight up say it. Cho Kuse ni Narisou, or I'll Make a Habit of It, is based on a manga that ran in Nakayoshi, a manga magazine, between July 1993 and January 1995. It was written by An Yoshimura and illustrated by Yayoi Nakano. It's 4 volumes in total and isn't scanlated. But I found these raws and they look cute. The manga has that same energy the show has. The anime is an example of what had been happening in anime like Idol Defense Force Hummingbird and Idol Project. Seiyuu or voice actresses playing idol roles but aren't idols. It's more like making a voice actress an idol than an idol a voice actress. An opposite of the beginnings of Takako Ota, where the wanted result was idoldom instead of being a popular voice actress. Seiyuu fandom is big enough to have its own magazines and otaku, so it makes sense to try and market them in an idol capacity as well. But not all voice actresses have a great singing voice. I have an example of that in Fancy Lala. But voice actors get introduced to the music industry through their usual job. They even make units like Doko of Ranma 1/2 or Style 5 of Free. The seiyuu boom was happening around this time in 1993 to 94, so it makes sense for this to be a thing in idol anime. Chinami Nishimura is a seiyuu/voice actress known for being Totodao, Torchic, Officer Jenny, and the main character of this idol anime, Nagisa Shiratori. The late Takeshi Shudo wrote the story of this and another crazy comedic idol anime, Idol Tenchi Yokoso Yoko. They also worked on Minky Momo. This was directed by Tetsuya Indo, who did the planning on Aikatsu, another idol anime. There were 39 episodes, but as it is with a lot of older anime, finding all of it in English isn't likely. The first 20 episodes were fan-subbed, but not how you think. As you can see from this clip, it isn't the best of quality. Why? VHS. At least a fifth of you probably never even touched a VHS, you babies. So way back before our Crunchyroll subscriptions and our Blu-rays, dinosaurs walked uphill both ways for anime. Tape trading was needed because there wasn't any way to get anime unless you knew people. You went to clubs where someone traded a tape with someone in Japan and you hook up your VCRs to copy it. Anime wasn't as widely available back then. And before the days of digisubs when you could just do it and put it out there on a torrent, you'd have a tape fan-subbed with analog equipment. Cho Kuse Narisou was first done that way. Someone captured it and put it on YouTube up till episode 16, where the original group Tomodachi Anime stopped. Episodes 17 to 20 had better quality and was a digisub fan-sub, but they stopped. All sources point to this series being incomplete. And as of today, there is no official US release. It's unlikely this will ever get an official release, but I think it should be finished. Why? Well, I'm going to show you because this show's freaking hilarious. My first impressions was like another Gem Hannah Montana-ish story, but I'll let you explain, Nagisa-chan. Nagisa Shiratori is a top idol and martial artist, and it's time to go to school. She disguises herself as a boy, starts to kick ass, and falls in love. The next episode, we finally get the origin story of how she became an idol. Her dad has a dojo, but no disciples, so she's supposed to find some. Her love interest, Nosaka-kun, is a great fighter, and they fall in love thanks to that anime titty. He's also the son of a dojo master that needs disciples. The dads are totally against each other, but the two still date due to him loving her as an idol and a fighter. I'm glad this show didn't do some sort of Romeo, Juliet, or secret situation for too long. She still keeps up her guy persona for school and other situations, but I'm glad she doesn't have that for her relationship with Nosaka-kun. We have other characters like the gang boss Tsunade-kun and her long-suffering manager, and Momoko, the passerby. She just shows up and does something crazy unrelated to the plot of the characters and then just leaves. What? What? Huh? Why are you here? After the beginning, we do have lots of episodes with just one-off characters and episodic situations. Like the clumsy girl from the other dojo, a ninja girl, a fortune teller, a guy who doesn't know the meaning of no. This series runs on the rule of funny. It's kind of like a sitcom, but the stakes and the craziness gets higher, like episode 8 and 9, where things pretty much go kill to kill with another school. Episode 11 is the beginning of a change in the show. It introduces Red Beetle, an international agency/conspiracy to control most of the popular idols in every country. They don't have one in Japan, so they send a rival for Nagisa. It's interesting because this rival episode is episodic, so they don't stay around, but it also kind of points out the differences between Japanese idols and the equivalent in other countries. It's like comparing Morning Musume with Spice Girl. Another standout is episode 12. It's different. You know those very special episodes sitcoms would have? Like Punky Brewster getting stuck in a fridge or Stephanie's classmate being physically abused? Except, take all that, make it about alligators. And it's a special episode about alligators and idols being thrown away and alligators being thrown away, and special message about alligators. Is this a PSA for keeping alligators as pets? Was this ever a problem in Japan? What? Is a message about discarding idols as well? Old waifu pushed away for your new waifu? Remember, keep your idols spayed and neutered. Things change a lot after episode 17. The various schools the characters go to merge into one training school for entertainers. The Red Beetle subplot comes back. Momoko gets more screen time and changes into a major character who may or may not be an enemy. Still does the gags though. It ends on a place that makes you want to see where is this series going and changing. And the fact that it ends there, that there's no more subbed, is infuriating. Stuff is happening after episode 20, and we don't know what it is. But most likely it's going to be a wacky bear sequence with minor fan service, silly dialogue, and shit getting real. The show apparently sneaks in many pop culture references. A lot goes over my head due to not knowing the material, because Japanese, but some of it I definitely got. Also, the culture of Woda gets an entire episode. Expand the fandom. I may be doing that. Nagisa herself is a sweet idol. She mostly wants to skip work for a time with Nosaka-kun, and throughout the show you see their relationship have ups and downs. You really root for this couple. With the whole cross-dressing part, dojo, martial artist, and the giant bear, I can't help but compare this to the more popular Ranma 1/2. It did exist about 7 years before Cho Kuse ni Narisou, so the influence is apparent. It was very popular. Nagisa also shows up in Panic in Nakayoshi World with Sailor Moon and other famous girls from Nakayoshi manga. This means she's the second idol from anime to also be in a video game. Creamy Mommy got to it first because her game was released 3 months before Panic in Nakayoshi World in '94. You can play Panic in Nakayoshi World in English thanks to a translation. Cho Kuse ni Narisou is hilarious, and I wish it could be finished after the near 20 years it started to be fansub. Today we start with Idol Project, a 4-episode OVA where you learn that you can be anything and an idol. A singer, an actor, pianist, ninja, president, watermelon with a wig. We're continuing the weirder era of idol anime. It is said that this was popular when it came out, and I could believe it. It's pretty fun, but not for the idol component. Last episode we mentioned the seiyuu boom. Why is seiyuu a thing in this era of idol anime? The idol industry was in a huge decline, as said before. J-Rock was bigger, and many idols did other forms of entertainment and stepped away from the traditional idol. The traditional idol, as we knew it, was passé. The idol industry being in decline will factor into another anime I will be talking about next week, Perfect Blue. Idol Project was made to capitalize on the seiyuu boom. They are all still the biggest names in anime today. Mimu, the main character, was voiced by Koda Mariko, known for being Mickey from Marmalade Boy, Queen Mirage in Happiness Charge Precure, and Reika, an idol in Chan's Pop Session. Corvette was played by Kikuko Inoue, known for also voicing Kikuko in Miss Monochrome, Kasumi Tendo in Ranma 1/2, and Japanese Princess Celestia. Layla was played by Hisakawa Aya, also known for being Sailor Mercury, Miki Kaoru, and Kiro-chan. Extra was played by Kanai Mika, the voice of Yoko in Yoko So Yoko, and known for being Chikorita. Paupu was voiced by Hinako Yoshino, aka Hinako Kanemaru, also known for being Shimura Mami in Sailor Victory. Satomi Kurugi played Ruka. Some of her roles were Himawari in Crayon Shinchan, Togepi of Pokemon, and Chi of Chi Sweet Home, and Shion voiced by Iwatsubo Rie, who also played Risky and Safety. That's probably why there isn't much singing in the OVA, except for Mimu. When she can. Makes a great recurring gag. They did have 3 soundtrack CDs. Some of the songs are from the PC games. What is this about? Mimu Emilton wants to be, you guessed it, an idol. She lives in Starland and wants to audition and sing in front of President Yuri, the best idol of them all. Yes, in this universe, set in a place called Starland, the president of Earth is a super idol, Yuri. She retired and 6 idols known as the Excellent Idols were chosen. Super popular girls that specialize in rocking out, fighting, acting, ninja-ing, and etc. The OVA is energy all the way through. One crazy thing after another. Literally. The first episode is just Mimu getting later and later to her audition by running into each excellent idol and stuff blowing up. The second one is an intergalactic idol competition set on a beach planet. The only natural and sensible place for fan service heaviness. Everywhere else in this OVA where it shows up is just grr. Also, Bali, Hawaii, the beach planet, shows what happens when you put a freaking Wota in office. Mr. Banana and Toshio 2016. OVA 3 is almost like 1 in terms of how Mimu is just thrusted around into the Excellent Idols. And it's set on another planet, cause they're kinda not on Earth after being abducted in the second OVA. Yup. Idols in space. But friendship and helping is the test of idoldom. The test that will help determine whether the end of the universe can be stopped. Yes, OVA 4 is the end of the universe. Several dimensions colliding, and of course idols is the cause and solution to all of life's problems. The dynamic animation helps show the energy. It's also fan service galore. I give it a small pass in some cases where it's not done too blatantly, but some of it's like, oh my god, seriously guys, why are you stop blowing up her skirt, what the ugh. You can't help it in the bathing suit episode because the wild actions do that, but they do ramp it up in OVA 3. Just come on, dudes. Also, there are times that show looks beautiful, like the performance, but a lot of times it's just kind of okay. The comedy is just crazy things happening to the main protagonist. Not much in actual jokes or dialogue. In fact, all the characters are pretty shallow. A lot of them are just their quirks or tropes. The fancy one needs to be proper, the rocker one needs to be wild, the actor acts. But each of their catchphrases represent the traits to become an idol. The main problem I have with this is it needs more songs. I have to admit, I'm spoiled by shows like Love Live that can have a different song and sometimes another song in the same episode. And if you can't put the song in the plot, put it in the music video at the end, like Idol Defense Force Hummingbird. But we only get really one and the opening and ending. The character designs are so damn 90s. I don't mind that it's not a timeless look. They're still cute. It's a nice little time capsule. Mimu could probably be 0.25 on the current waifu scale. And now the age-old dub versus sub. Here's a comparison.
It's too tight in here. I can't breathe! Give me back my guitar! Oh, don't touch me there, please. Yay! Yay! We're all together now! Everyone, we must all keep our hearts tranquil. I haven't sung yet. My audition. My debut. What exactly is going on here?
The dub is serviceable, but it's flat compared to the franticness of what's going on. This was released by Media Blasters in the US on DVD back in 2002. You can get it on Right Stuff, but Amazon has it cheaper. Get the Idol Project Super Pop Anthology DVD, because it has all 4 OVA instead of just buying them separately. But what you don't know is the sinister predictions within Idol Project. Set in the future, an idol boom just like now. For all we know, we could get sucked into every dimension, and we all end up looking like President Akchan or something. Akchan Hanukkah 2016. Watch this for the silly and the appreciation of veteran voice actresses. You aren't getting anything deep in this, but at least it's short, weird, and fun. Birth Debut is based on a game and has a drama CD. It has an OVA but no fan sub, so I have no idea really what's going on. What I can make out is it's set at school, there's girls, there's a crash but kind of unrequited, and the character designs are meh. The game is from 1993, and that was on the PC, WonderSwan, Mac, 3DO, and Sega Saturn. It's about being a manager and training 3 idols, supervising their high school activities and their work. Sounds like an early Idolmas in concept. The OVA differs from the games and is an independent story, so I can't really classify it as an idol anime, even if its origins is idol related. Think of it as the Xenoglossia of '94. We now interrupt Idols of Anime for a message from 2018 Viga. So, I was actually wrong on this one, and there is another OVA for Birth Debut or Tanjou Debut that I just couldn't find before, but now I found it on Nico Nico Doga and watched it. So this is unrelated to the first one that I talked about, and this is like a kind of summer side story where there's 3 friends and they suddenly remember, hey, remember that time capsule we had? Let's go, reminisce and dig it up and have some fun. And there was actually a 4th person as well that they forgot about. Till now. The story implies that they have died, and now everyone's just kind of remembering them through some of the objects that was found in that box. By still being friends and opening this together, they somehow, unpackaged her soul from Earth so she can move on, and that true friendship never changes. Or so I think, because this thing isn't subbed, and I'm just kind of gleaning all of this from just the visuals and the little bits of dialogue I can actually understand. But what still kind of confuses me, here's my question, why didn't they just do an OVA that is an idol anime? I mean, the game's idols, so why did they just do this sort of thing? I mean, come on. Anyway, next time I'll be talking about the late Satoshi Kon's Perfect Blue. So, subscribe, click that bell for notifications. And remember, idol anime is the best.